All right, Steeler fans, we are back. The Mailbag Segment, second half of the Wednesday show. As always, we appreciate everyone that chimes in, even in this. It's not a dead period. It's like a lull. The OTAs or something, but it's not a lot of substance. So let's get this show on the road. Jeff Coons, our buddy from up north, he said, greetings from Not Mad Canada. I'm scraping the bottom of the offseason question bucket. What role, if any, does Cordero Patterson have on this team in 2025? With the addition of Kenneth Gainwell, Kenny G, his presence seemed stale. I know he's an Arthur Smith favorite. That's a great question. I honestly did not expect Cordero Patterson to even be on the roster at this time. I did not expect Cordero Patterson to have any role on this offense. When they signed Kenny Gainwell, when they get Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren sticks around, unless it's as a returner, and we all know that last year that looked, I don't know what to say shady or sketchy, but it wasn't good and it wasn't pretty. It does make you wonder what kind of role, if any, Cordero Patterson is going to have. If I had to guess, he does not make this roster. If I had to guess, at this stage, he'll probably get an invite to training camp. Other than that, I just don't think there's a spot for him. I really, really don't. I do have to remind myself, before I go to the next question, I do have to remind myself that last year, before his ankle injury, which was sustained in Indianapolis, he did look pretty good running the football. Just going to say that. All right, let's go to Mariah. She said, thank you and your team for the content. You can only pick one to add to today's team, a franchise quarterback or a wide receiver too. If you add the quarterback, no change to the current wide receiver room and vice versa. All right, so I'm going to pick one. I'm picking the franchise quarterback every single day and twice on Sunday. Those do not grow on trees. Wide receivers, you can find them. Find them in the draft. You can find them in free agency. You can find them. You can find them a heck of a lot easier than a franchise quarterback. She continues, which position ad could get us closer to AFC Championship game in 2025? She said, of course, we need more than this. It would be the quarterback, in my opinion. I understand the wide receiver room is an issue, and I'm not suggesting that it isn't, but I just can't, for the life of me, think that the quarterback is, I believe it, that it is the most important position in team sports. And so since it's the most important position, you have to figure it out. The Steelers have not figured it out since Ben Roethlisberger retired. It's been a revolving door, and it's time for that to end, so that's why I would go with the quarterback. All right, let's go to Paul Orlando. Said, Jeff, I love your shows and your Steelers positivity. Hashtag Ride or Die Crew. Thank you. You know, I had a lot of people actually reach out to me, some with direct message on Twitter, some via email, some in the comments section of steelcurtainnetwork.com, the website that I write for, all this stuff. And everyone said, Jeff, thank you for showing a little bit of positivity. It's been very negative. It's been very dark in the Steelers fan base over the summer, over the spring. And so that's why I just try to keep a positive spin on things. So thank you very much, Paul. But here's the question. In your opinion, can or will Roman Wilson be a Steelers wide receiver too? I'm going to say that the answer to that is no. But I think he can be a very valuable component to the offense. So if you have Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson, I know they're two diminutive sizes, but if you have those two players who with their respective skill sets can kind of piece together a wide receiver too, it's not a bad thing. You've got the burning speed of Calvin Austin. You got the grittiness of Roman Wilson. It could fit. It could fit. And a lot of people, early reports out of OTAs that Robert Woods still has some spring in his step. I'm not saying I'm going down that path yet, but I'm just saying what people are reporting who are there at OTAs. And then Paul also asked, should Patrick Queen keep the green dot or should it go to Peyton Wilson? This is going to be an interesting question. Now, Patrick Queen reminds me from a green dot perspective of Miles Jack. When the Steelers picked up Miles Jack as a free agent, everyone, and I even interviewed someone for the Monday Morning Conversation when they did that, down in Florida or the Jacksonville area, Point of Vedra area. And they said the same exact thing they were hearing with Patrick Queen. He plays his best when he doesn't have to make the calls. He plays faster when he doesn't have to make the calls. So the question then becomes, is Peyton Wilson capable in year 2 of being that guy? Or is Cole Holcomb healthy enough to be that guy? Cole Holcomb wore the green dot before his knee injury. So keep that in the back of your brain. Cole Holcomb spoke on Tuesday to media and said he's excited. He's thankful to be out there after his really bad knee injury 2 years ago. So who knows? They might have some options, and that's not something they had a lot of last year when it comes to players who are comfortable and capable of wearing that green dot. Let's go to Annie. She said, "Hi, Jeff. Thanks for keeping us all entertained during the offseason. Do you think Gabe Davis would be a good addition to the offense?" I think Gabe Davis would be a good addition. And I know Jeremy Bett says, well, it's too much like the skill set of DK Metcalf. Okay, sure. If he's healthy, that's number one. If he is healthy, I'm on board. The next thing is I love the fact that the contract that he signed with Jacksonville, the Steelers would not have to pay a lot of that because he was released. So this isn't a compensatory pick thing anymore. That deadline is gone. He wouldn't cost a lot of money. So even if he's not healthy now, but the doctors that look at Gabe Davis, let's say if he comes into Pittsburgh this week and they say, coach, this knee's not right, but it's getting there. He's really close. I think he'd be ready to go by training camp, and I think he'd be good for the season. Then I think the Steelers would be wise to sign him, see what he can do. And I think it would be a lot smarter than trading away assets. And if you sign him to a 1-year deal and it's a veteran minimum type thing, sure, let's do it. Why not? Gabe Davis had his most productive years with the Buffalo Bills. I'm not saying they're going to recreate those years here, but at the same time, I'm not against it. Really, I'm not. And let's finish this up. Like I said, not a lot of questions this week. Let's finish this up with Steeler Fan 69. Said, hello, my friend. Who is Thor's favorite singer? MC Hammer. I like that. Next, my wife asked me to put ketchup on the shopping list. Now I can't read anything. And the last one here, I was so angry that I threw my keyboard against the wall and parts flew everywhere. That's when the shift hit the fan. Good stuff. As always, I do appreciate it. For all those people that chimed in with the mailbag, thank you very much. For wondering, how do I get my question answered? All you got to do is find me on Twitter at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. I will put out the question Tuesday morning. You respond, I'll answer it live on the show on Wednesday. And I thank everyone for chiming in. But other than that, make sure you're checking out SteelCurtainNetwork.com. That's hopefully one of your stops, if not your one-stop shop for all things Pittsburgh Steelers news. Also, make sure that you're listening to all of our podcasts on the Steel Curtain Network. We do appreciate every single one of you that do that. If you want to be super kind, go to our page on Apple Podcast, leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a good comment. Same on Spotify. We do appreciate it. It does help boost us up amongst other Steelers and NFL podcasts. So thank you all very much. But that does it for me. I will be back on Friday. You know how we finish these up. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. Go Steelers.